Arde Orie, welcome to my living room.
Yes, thank you so much. Welcome to my living room.
Where is your living room?
My living room is in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, hi, Jersey.
It's thunderstorming right now, so if you hear
Oh,
noises and bangs, that's what's going on here. But just
okay.
a typical summer day.
Yes.
But I'm so happy to be connected with you because I want to dive into, just helping people discover their artistic flair in
Yes,
these challenging times, very challenging times, and how you really still can create a career out of your talents.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about that.
So before we dive in, tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So my name is Arde Orie, and I am a celebrity ghostwriter and the CEO of 13th and Joan Publishing House. And in that space, we tell extraordinary stories by extraordinary souls.
I love that. I love that. I'm an author myself. I came out with my debut novel a couple years ago. I love
Yay!
and I love writing. I wish I was doing more of it during quarantine, but I've had a lot going on. We moved, and there's just I can't hunker down and write. Are you finding that to be the case?
No, but only because, that is what I do every single day. For me, writing is almost like air. I have to do it. I have to release the words that are implanted in me on a daily basis. So quarantine has actually provided a quiet backdrop. And even though things have been chaotic, I've been able to find solace in the stillness and the quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to me about some of the books that you've published with your publishing house.
Oh my gosh, we've done so many amazing projects and things that I never would have imagined. One that I talk about very often, which was certainly a challenge for me, was Thomas McClary. He was the founder of the Commodores, which is the same group that Lionel Richie is famous for. And with that, the book spanned for a period of 60 years. And so it was like, how do you write 60 years, of a lifetime? How do you bring that to fruition throughout a book? And my team and I had to do extensive research, but it was such an honor because there was so much rich history, included in that book. And so that was something that we were very proud of. One of the projects that we're working on right now, if you're familiar with the Housewives of Atlanta, Cynthia Bailey and Mike Hill, her fiance, was gracious enough to come on board and make history with us. And so we are currently, his book is now available for pre-sale, and that is a book that is up and coming, but he's very forthright regarding, the men's perspective. And I think that as women, that's something that we can always appreciate and learn from, because women, we're conditioned to talk and to share our emotions, but men are not always conditioned that way. So this book is very raw, very honest, and it's something that we're very proud of. So those are two, just to name a few, but we've got tons of stories.
Yeah. Talk to me about the ghostwriting process.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, I love it. It is the joy of my heart. I always tell people that I am someone different every single day. So, I'm a wife, a mother, and that is my normal, very calm, very boring. And I say that in a beloved way, life, and I love it. And then on the other side of that, I jump into the lives of others. I think that ghostwriting was something that I was just placed here to do. I grew up in a home with a counselor, and so my mother taught me very much how to listen. We were always listening. I was definitely that friend that people would come to and kind of share their stories and get some feedback, and it was never judgmental, just kind of a safe space. So I think that ghostwriting lends itself to that. And the way that I write, I'm never listening to exactly what the author is saying. I'm listening to what they're not saying. I'm listening to the way that they're breathing. I'm listening to the pauses, when they speak, because that tells a lot about a person's emotional disposition. And then I pour that onto the pages. So I believe that makes for compelling reads. I believe that everybody's story is something that is to be, revered. And so it's just a matter of bringing it to life. And I get to do that every day. And I just love it.
On average, how many hours, days, weeks, months do you spend with your subject getting those stories from them?
You know, it depends. We have a lot of clients who are represented by networks, and, you know, they have TV shows and things like that. So sometimes we're rushed, you know, it's like, we got to do this really soon. My official ghostwriting project, I was actually asked if I could complete it in 30 days. And I was like, I had just resigned from my position as an assistant principal. My family had just relocated. So I had a newborn baby in one hand, and I was writing, you know, away with the laptop and like this. And we got it done in that amount of time, but this show was coming out. So sometimes, you know, things are rushed. I don't love the rush process, but I can honor it because I understand that, you know, there's a higher purpose. But usually we like to spend anywhere from 4 to 6 months with our authors. And in some instances, it can be a year. We've even had some that are, you know, take 2 years. We've had a lot of authors on the other side of that who say, you know, I don't want to rush this, or my life is actually still unfolding, so I want to wait and see what the ending might look like in some ways. So 4 to 6 months is kind of the sweet spot, though.
Yeah. So I want to backtrack to your own story, because I think a lot of people watching right now can learn a lot from you. So you resigned as an assistant principal. It sounds like, you know, you had a newborn, you had a family, you were juggling. How did you parlay that into your own publishing house?
Oh my gosh, the road was a winding
You
road.
need a ghostwriter now for your
Oh, I do. I'm looking for one. If you're out there, come on and help me. But you know, as an assistant principal, that job was something that I loved. I went to college for education. I earned 3 degrees in education. But what I realized as a mother was that there was some time that I needed to devote to my job that I didn't, you know, I had to choose. And so I remember sitting in a school board meeting, and I was there for many hours, and I was late picking up my daughter. She would sometimes, or often actually, be the last one to be picked up because I was, you know, doing this job, and I was new in the career, and I wanted to do a good job and give it my all. I worked on Saturdays with the Saturday school. And it just occurred to me, and sitting in that meeting, I'm like, wow, I'm here and I'm fighting for everyone else's children, and I can't be there for my own the way that I really want to. So it just bothered me. And I didn't know exactly what to do at the time. And I can remember, this is probably at least a good 10 years ago. I said to my husband, you know, I just want to make a living writing and, you know, taking care of the kids. And I don't think that I thought that could actually materialize, but it speaks to the power of our words and the manifestation, and, you know, why we should really speak the way we want things to actually happen. But eventually I did resign from that position because we were moving. And so that would mean that I would need to certify in another state. And I had worked so hard to get my certification in the state that I was in. I had that newborn baby, and I was like, I don't know if I'm up for that. Maybe I will try something else. And that was so uncomfortable, you know, the trying something else. I tried many other things. I tried to launch several business ventures, and the purpose, and as it is for many of us, it was right under my nose. It was the most obvious thing, is the thing that I do without even thinking about it, which was writing. So in one of those was either 8 or 10 business things that I tried after resigning from my position, I decided to write a book, because that was what I had right in front of me. That was what I could do. And in researching options, you know, for publishing companies, it was just another winding road, you know, and I finally found one, and the investment was quite large. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't really have that to do this with, because I just quit my job. And so, anyways, I just continued to educate myself on the process. I continued to attend trainings, and I got as much information as I could possibly get. And once I published my book, many other people started to ask me about how to do it for them. And what I had learned over the time of launching those various ventures was that if people have a problem and you have a solution for that problem, that is a viable business. And so I started 13th and Joan Publishing House because I was going to, write and create a bunch of content for myself. And that was going to be the house where that would live. And once I recognized that there were so many other people that wanted to have access to quality publishing and that they, needed help in navigating the process, then I decided to begin to take clients. So for the first, 3.5 years, we did no formal advertisements. Everything was word of mouth. And it just has evolved into, a commitment to life's purpose. So I'm very thankful for being in this space.
That's such a beautiful story. And I have a feeling that a lot of people during this quarantine time are doing kind of that same soul searching.
Yeah.
Maybe they were laid off or furloughed from a job that they really weren't passionate about. It was just a paycheck. And now that they've had the time to really evaluate what's important to them, maybe they're going to make that big pivot into their passion finally.
Right. Absolutely. And as we all should, one of the things that I've discovered is we are busy, and inundated with our lives. And so we don't always have an opportunity to be still enough to tap into creativity, to even hear from ourselves. Things have just been so busy. So that is why, although unfortunate, and we've seen so many lives compromised during the time of quarantine, it has also lended itself for a stillness, or to a stillness that people, can find what it is that they have not had an opportunity to search for. And that is why I've been encouraging people. I'm sure that people on social media are like, can this lady please stop saying I should be writing my book now? But it is the opportune time. When we have moments like this, it's the perfect time to put pen to paper, to find the professionals who can assist you, the right team to help you get through this process. Because quite frankly, every one of us, we've gotten to a point now where if we didn't know it before, we do recognize that having multiple streams of income is of great importance. And so a book definitely does that. It allows a sense of freedom. It allows you to document your history as we need, so desperately. So they're just, I could go on for hours about why we should be writing. But what I do know is that when opportunity knocks at the door, you should open the door.
Yeah, and it's such a healthy outlet. Everybody has a lot of thoughts, what's going on right now in the world, and a lot of angst, and it's a very healthy outlet. And who knows what can come out of that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I always say the paper listens, the ink doesn't lie and the paper listens. And so this is the safe space there. A lot of people use social media as their diary. You post what you're really feeling there, but sometimes there are things that you don't feel comfortable saying on social media, but it may be your truth. And so the paper listens, the ink doesn't lie and the paper listens. And this is the greatest time to do that. And I think that we need it, just last night I was talking with my daughter and she was so upset because for the first time she was able to verbalize the anxiousness that she felt. I think before it was just a matter of really just continuing to go forward every day. And as adults, we don't even have all of the answers. So, that creates uncertainty. And so she and I have actually been working on a book. Her name is London. It's called London for President, because this is such a great time. We're talking about, the presidency, and it's about a little girl who did not understand why, woman has not been elected. And so she vowed to do that. I'm running for president and I'm going to, show my strength. And so just the ability to write and to have those discussions, it is cathartic. And it definitely is something that we can all benefit from during this time. So much is happening.
Yeah. How old is your daughter?
She's 10.
She's 10. Oh, wow. What a mature little girl, right? I mean, to connect all the dots, right? And yes. To have that, well, she has you as the example. So
right.
It's surprising that, for her to be like, well, I could be president one day. I mean, yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
That's so beautiful. Your publishing house, 13th and Joan, I always like asking people why they come up with the names for their company. And that's a unique one. So how did you come up with that?
So 13th and Joan, I was raised by two women. My grandmother was one and my mother was the other. 13th, my grandmother was born on October 13th, which is the founding day of 13th and Joan, and my mother's name is Joan. So I always say that, you know, my story is the intersection of these two women, and I, you know, took it upon myself to kind of learn more about them. You know, you see your mother and your grandmother as your you know, the figureheads in your life, but you never always, you know, explore kind of what happened in their lives and who they were as women. So I am so much like my grandmother. She has passed away, but I honor her every day because I feel like I am her. And then, you know, my mother was always so encouraging. There was not an idea that I came to her with that she ever said, well, I don't think you can do that. She always pushed me, you know, to be more, to do more, to aspire to more. And so I am the intersection of their stories. And that's how I came with 13th and Joan. And then I thought, wow, it sounds like a fabulous place to be, you know, the intersection of 13th and Joan.
I see. That's why I asked the question, because everybody has such a unique, you know, there's a lot that goes into a name.
Yes.
You know, these
Yes.
names just don't come out of the sky, and that's so meaningful.
Yes.
So for people watching, say they have a book idea, how do they get in touch with you, and what book ideas are you entertaining?
You know what? Again, with the onset of everything that has happened, we are actually entertaining lots of genres that we had not before because people's creativity has really spiked. And so before we, you know, accept a book, we're always looking, we have a consultation. There's not a person that we don't host a consultation for. We believe in authors and what it is that they're aspiring to do just that much. And, you know, even if the story is not a good fit for our publishing house, it's important that we continue to encourage authors. You know, it takes a lot of you know, courage just to get to the point of saying, I want to write a book, you know, to pronounce that out loud. It takes a lot to get there. So we always want people to be encouraged, but we have been getting a lot of mystery. We always get tons of people who are inspired to tell their own stories, to kind of share what they've been through or what they've overcome. So there's a lot of that. Lots of self-help. We're getting a ton of business books, people who specialize in a certain thing or they've learned or, you know, gather a certain type of information that they want to share. And in that space, a lot of people want to establish themselves as the expert. And that's kind of what a book does. It qualifies you. It's the PhD without, you know, attending the university. And so we're doing a ton of that. And then romance. Yeah, I'm actually writing a romance novel myself.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a passion project. And I recently just said, you know, I don't even care if anyone likes it. That's how much I'm enjoying the process. And when you get to that point, I think it's just a beautiful place because it really becomes art, you know, at that point. So this is something that I would like to have be a part of my legacy. And I just love love. I've always been a hopeless romantic. So we're getting a lot of people writing romance novels as well, which is cool because we need an outlet. We need to read something, you know, other than what we're seeing on the news. So that's that. And the process is very simple. We have very easy access to book or schedule a consultation on our website, which is 13thandjoan.com. All of our social media is at 13th and Joan. And so we try to make ourselves very visible and, you know, for it to be very simple for authors to get in touch.
That is so cool. Well, this was so fun. Thank you. Let me know next time you're in the New York, New Jersey area when we're all.
I absolutely will.
Because I would love when your romance novel comes out, maybe we can do something on Hip New Jersey.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. Absolutely. And New Jersey is amazing. I was there, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and it's beautiful. So yes, I would love to do that.
Awesome. Well, happy writing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing London's book too. Maybe we can do
it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will keep you posted.
And I'll vote for her. Just, you know,
for president.
You could probably, a 10-year-old could do a better job than everybody else. I know. I know. It's just bad.
We can talk about that all day.
I know, different conversation. But thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.